Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Abigail Rudner from Rudner Revolution. Picking up where we left off in the last video, it is now time to add some images to really bring this graphic to life. I'm going to jump over to the web here and show you how you can find some images that you can work with that are copyright infringement free. If you take a look, I'm going to do a search here for Creative Commons images. And you can see there's a website called search.creativecommons.org, and it is here that you can search these different image and media search engines to find images that you are allowed to use for commercial purposes or to modify and adapt and build upon. Since this is for educational purposes, we should be good borrowing some artwork from others. But I just thought it would be helpful for you to see how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to search for here in my Creative Commons search is stars. And I'm going to search Google Images. Hit enter, and indeed we have some interesting images that we want to mix into our graphic. I'm going to select this artwork here, let it finish coming into view. Because I'm working with such a small file, I'm simply going to control click. This would be a right mouse click on the PC. I'm on a Mac, so I'm control clicking. And then I will choose copy image. Toggle back over to Photoshop. You might notice over here it says free. This is a free image. And at Photoshop, I'm going to click on the background layer so that when I paste this art, it goes above that layer. So here we go. I'm going to paste it. And I will convert. So I'm going to convert, click OK. And as I do this, you're going to see this image is very large. If you have the Move tool selected, you can drag it around. See these pretty stars. And it's very, very dark. And I know that this image is too big. I like the stars, but I want some more of that atmospheric kind of red glow. So I'm going to come up here to the Edit menu and choose Transform Scale. If I zoom out, Command minus on the Mac or Control minus on the Windows, I'll see these bullet handles. And I'll drag these to more closely fit my canvas area. And there we go. Now I have some colorful background art to place my type on. And in fact, in this view, I will zoom up a bit. Again, Control plus or Command plus if you're on a Mac, Control plus if you're on a Windows. Hit the Return key to set the scale. And I'm going to transform again here, choosing Rotate. And now as you can see, I can rotate this art around. It's looking pretty good. I like that. And press Return to set the scale. This is along the lines of what I want, but it's a little bit too complex and definitely too red. So the next thing I'm going to do is come over to the Layers panel and switch the layer order. By clicking and dragging layer 1, I'm going to drag it down underneath what was the background layer. And I get an interesting effect. If you look at my layer over here, I changed this layer mode to pin light. Let's go back to normal. So this is what that layer looks like at normal. And as you can see, I can use different settings such as lighten, overlay, color burn, screen, etc. to change the way the images are blending together. So this top layer is now called background. I'm going to change it to blue star, and I'll change the original from the web here that I pulled to nebulae. So now you may want to experiment with these layer modes to get an effect that works for you. I'm kind of happy with that. I think that's looking pretty good. And as it turns out, I am going to go grab another image and add that to the mix. I'm going to jump back over to my search and scroll down a bit because there is another set of stars here that I like a lot, and that is this one. And again, you can see that this is a free image. Important to recognize that if you click on some of these other images that also come up, they may not be free. So please be fair to others. Don't take images that are not really meant by the owner for you to share them. So you may want to check and make sure that they're free images. I'm going to go back to the original. Similarly, I'm going to control click, which is what I did to grab the last image, and copy this image, tab over to Photoshop, and select the nebulae layer, and again I'm going to paste, edit paste. And yes, I'm going to convert the appearance, and because this is a small graphic and the sharpness isn't crucial, I'm going to do something I usually don't do, and that is I'm going to scale this image a little bit larger. Generally, I try not to scale images larger, but in this case, I think we'll be okay. Since they're stars, I can probably rotate this without confusing anybody. Up and down don't matter so much on stars. They should look good in any direction. So here I've gone ahead and rotated them, and I can even, in this process, choose Transform Scale after I've rotated and stretch them a bit more. All right, I'm going to stick with that. Press the return key to set the scale. And again, I may want to work with some of these blending options. Here I'm going to choose lighten. So what's happened is all the black in the image has disappeared and the background image is simply lightened by the existing artwork. And it's really hard to see my blue star being that it is set on soft light. I'm going to change this one to overlay and perhaps even to multiply. Pin light is giving me more of the kind of feeling I wanted, with the starburst energy kind of right behind my text. I think that's looking pretty good. So let's zoom in and see what we have so far. If you press the Tab key, you can hide all the menus. Take a look at what your artwork looks like, unobstructed by any of the panels. Press the Tab key again, select the Move tool, select the text layer. You can move this to another position. I'm more or less getting the kind of effect I want, but I'm wondering what would happen if I rotated the blue star layer. So I'm going to select it and choose Edit Transform again and rotate. Here I am now rotating the blue star layer. That is what I'm talking about. That's looking pretty darn cool. I like that. So I'll go ahead and reset my workspace to tidy everything up under Workspace. Reset Abbey Fave. That looks good. I am going to save this file again. File save, so it's saved over the original version. The next step is to tweak the type and get it to look just right before we add any more elements to this design. So I'm going to grab the Type tool, find my Layers panel again, select the type layer. There it is. I think I'll zoom out a bit. Here I believe it would look much better to select the type and change it to white up here in the control panel, switching the color from black to white, at least for now. You can see the type better. And probably a good idea to move the type down. And let's increase the size of some of these lines. I'm going to put the instead of stars on its own line. Select all of the type again. Come up to the size field and use the up arrow on my keyboard to increase the line size. And finally here I'm going to select the last line instead of stars and make that quite a bit bigger because I think that deserves some emphasis. Lastly, I'm going to select all the type again and remind you over on Window, we're going to go to Character, and I want to make the leading a little bit more even and give the type some more text, give the text some more space between the lines. So I'm going to increase overall leading size. And you can see what's happening here is I lost some of the type size that I wanted. Some things got bigger that I didn't want to get bigger, so let's make sure that's not happening. Bring that down and even a little bit more. All right, let's also bring down the author's name here. That looks good. Great. Coming back to the Move tool, I'm going to place this text just where I want it to be for now. And again, save my file. Now before I go on to some final tweaks, there is another element I want to add. And I'd like to get some people standing on a horizon line. I think that would be a nice touch to this image. So back over to the Creative Commons search site, I'm going to look for a family silhouette. And here you can see I had a little misspelling here, and search engine is helping me out. You may want to scroll through here, kind of like in this one. That's perfect, actually. Again, it is a free image, free vector image. I just need this bitmap, these happy people. And I'm going to copy it, copy image, and flip back again to Photoshop. Going to come to my layer 1, which has got to be renamed as Glowing Stars. And then I'm going to paste and convert the colors. Drag my little family down and resize them. Once again, we're going to go to Edit, Transform, Scale. Place these folks over here in the corner. And I think I'll set them right on the edge of the image. Maybe even rotate them just a hair. Edit, Transform, Rotate. Use the Move tool to set them just where I want, which is right here. One of my favorite blending modes from the Layers panel is the one called Multiply. It's great when you have a simple silhouette, white on black, like this one, because it makes white become invisible. So if I choose Multiply, I see my silhouettes at the bottom. A little bit hard to see. Might be a good idea if I get some brighter and lighter colors down there. So once again, oops, lost my Layers panel there. I'm going to scroll down to the nebulae and transform this. Edit, Transform, Rotate. And now you can see, I can see my little folks much better on the bottom. Scale this a bit more. Edit, Transform, Scale. And let's see what we have. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Although I think that it would be best if we had the stars actually coming to the edge here. Looks like it's chopped off a bit. And also, overall, I'd like to see the image look lighter and brighter. So we'll tackle that in the next and final installment of this series. So we'll tackle that in the next video, which will be the last one of this inspirational graphic basic Photoshop Chops 1 lesson, and I will see you in the next movie.